Morning. All right. We're going to start today's practice in a seated position. And Karen, can you give me a thumbs up? Can you hear me okay? Okay, good. We got a new spot here. Making sure the sound works. We're gonna find our comfortable seated position. So whether that's crisscross for you or legs out, whatever feels best today. And bringing our awareness to those sit bones. So finding your really solid sit bones equal on the floor. Fall equinox is all about equal parts. So we've got equal day, equal night. Coming into equilibrium in the body. So resting the hands on the knees evenly. Weight is evenly dispersed. Closing the eyes gently. Bringing all of our awareness to this moment. Giving ourselves this time, and we'll get back to the other things later. So put the other things aside into a little basket right by your side, and you'll get back to this. Coming into the breath, noticing the quality of your breath coming in and out of your nose. Trying to equalize the inhale and the exhale. Today, the light hours and the dark hours will be the same amount. Can we honor the lightness in us as equally as the darkness in us? That is the focus of this practice. Understanding that for every part of us that shows growth, there are parts of us that have to experience dying as well. This is a time to harvest all that has grown, the summer months, make way for the stillness of the approaching cold months. Equal inhale, equal exhales. Can you set an intention for yourself for this fall season here? Coming into stillness, maybe less growth. Slowing down a bit. Can you honor all that has come before? All the growth that has happened, whether fast or slow, all that has gotten you to this moment. Let's imagine for this practice those deep-rooted roots coming out of our sit bones. So growing roots down through the floor into the earth. Really imagine these really solid roots today, grounding us down deep, deep into the core of the earth. These roots connect us to all that is. Breathe in and out of those roots all the way into the body, all the way out of the body. Feel the rise and fall of your chest. Really connecting to breathing with those roots in the earth today. When you're ready, opening the eyes gently. We're going to start with hip circles. So coming around to the right, just really loosening up those hips, but remembering our groundedness. Equal sit bones on the ground. Couple to the right. And then switching directions, a couple towards the left. Feeling both sit bones still grounding down. And coming to the center, finding our balance on equal sides, planting the right hand down to the ground. Inhaling that left arm up and over. Let's stretch that left side. Planting our roots still, feeling that left hip bone on the ground. Feeling that stretch up and out the leaves of the fingertips. And nice big inhale. Exhale that arm down, planting it on the other side. Inhaling the right arm up and over. Feeling the roots still grounding the right hip. And reaching all the energy out through the right fingertips, those leaves blowing in the wind. Inhale this side. Exhale down. Planting both fingertips on the ground, feeling the length of our spine, but the rooted energy here. Okay, and with the next inhale, lengthening the spine, exhaling to twist over to the right side, grabbing that right knee, right fingertips behind, inhaling to lengthen the spine, exhaling, twisting gently. Continuing to root your sit bones. Lengthening the spine with each inhale, twisting with the exhales. And on your next exhale, coming back to center. Inhaling to lengthen. Exhale to the other side. Right hand to the left knee, left fingertips back. Twisting on the exhale, lengthening on the inhale. Feeling those rooted sit bones equally on both sides. On your next exhale, coming back to center. Let's switch into butterfly. So gluing our feet together. Finding those sit bones still nice and planted, knees splaying out, grabbing the toes. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to lean over the feet, still feeling the rooted energy of our sit bones here. Inhale lengthens, exhales rounding. Equal breaths here for a few breaths. Sinking a bit deeper on each exhale. When I release and make space for peace, I am grateful. With each exhale, we release. Make space for peace. Grateful for anything we're feeling here. And on the next exhale, rounding up, back to sit. We're gonna come into all fours slowly, into tabletop. Hands planted, strong roots in the hands, strong roots coming out of the knees, a strong trunk, torso here. Coming into cat-cow, so inhaling, dropping the belly, looking up. Exhale, rounding the spine, sucking the navel in. Cow. Inhale, dropping the belly, looking up. Noticing rooted energy still, and exhale all the air out, navel to spine, rooted in both hands and knees. A couple inhales and exhales on your own timing. Remembering that we want equal parts in our hands and knees, equal weight. after your next exhale, coming back to tabletop, a strong core here. We're gonna walk left hand over the right, looking towards our tailbone, stretching that left side, feeling the knees planted equally. Another breath here on this side, and then exhaling, walking right hand over the left, coming to the left side, looking towards the tailbone, stretching the right side. Check in with your knees, make sure your weight is equal. And your next exhale, back to tabletop. Let's tuck our toes coming into our first downward dog here. So tucking the toes, lifting with the sit bones toward the sky, looking towards the navel, ears between the shoulders. Let's imagine those roots coming into the feet and into the hands, out of the feet, out of the hands. Equal weight here. Nice breath, and then we'll walk the dog. So left heel down, right heel up, switching sides. Back and forth a couple of times, remembering equal inhales and exhales. Waking up the back of our legs. Still rooted in the fingertips. And after you've done both sides, inhale those heels up to the sky. Exhale them towards the ground. Coming into our downward dog for just a couple of breaths. Imagine those roots again as I release. I make space for peace here. Inhale, lifting the right foot up. We're going to bring the right foot between the hands. So looking towards your hands, coming into a lunge here, helping your foot up any way you can. And then just bringing the left foot to meet the right foot, forward fold. Let's be generous today, bending our knees, belly to the thighs, letting go of the neck. Hanging in ragdoll for just a couple of breaths. So arms can come to the, or fingers can come to the floor if that feels good. Or you can grab both elbows and hang. Feeling the rooted energy of the feet still. On the next exhale, let's start to release the arms and roll up the spine, one vertebrae at a time. Neck and head are last. Falling into mountain pose here. Checking in with your rooted energy. Lifting up through the hips, the ribs, the crown of the head. We're going to come into that one more time, downward dog and lunge on the other side. So inhale your arms up and overhead. Exhale to swan dive, bending the knees, coming into that forward fold. Stepping the left hand or foot back into that lunge. Right foot back to meet it, plank. And then we'll just come into downward dog. For our second downward dog here, find your rooted energy through the fingertips, through the feet. A couple of breaths here, finding that equal weight between the hands and the feet. tailbone up to the sky, gazing toward the navel. Equal inhales and exhales. Lifting that left foot up and exhaling it between the two hands. So getting your feet up there any way that you can between your hands. Left side, lunge on this side. Just check in with this side and then bring the right foot to meet the left foot. Forward fold again. Feet are rooted, tailbone reaching for the sky. Knees are bent if you need them to be bent. Ragdoll for just a few minutes. You could sway side to side if that feels good. Letting the fingers brush the floor. Moving the weight side to side. And finding center again. Rooting those roots as we lift one vertebrae at a time. We roll up. Shoulders, neck, and head last. Finding our mountain pose. Shoulders rounded back and down. Palms facing out. Feet planted firmly on the ground. Checking in with your intention here. Noticing anything that's coming up in your body, just notice without judgment. And on your next exhale, I'm going to turn. We're going to come into tree pose. So planting the right foot first. I like to spread the toes, really feel the roots in that right foot. Coming down, kickstand, your left toes here. Feeling that root system under the ground, into the earth, rising up from the crown of the head. And then wherever you're comfortable today, finding your tree on this side, inside of the calf, or up above the knee. We never want on the knee. Left knee pointing straight out. Finding a point 5 or 6 feet away on the floor, a drishti point to focus. If today you need to come back down, listen to your body. Once you find a good spot for today, really feel that rooted system grounding you down. And that lift up through the upper body and the crown of the head. Equal breaths here for a moment. And after your next exhale, lowering the foot first, shaking out the legs, bringing the arms down. Let's switch sides. Left foot, spreading the weight on the left foot, gently bending that knee, grounding into the ground here, turning the right knee out, kickstanding those toes to start with, finding your groundedness, root system here on this side. And you can try to find where your balance is for today. Is that foot on the calf or up above on the thigh? Looking towards the floor at your drishti. When you've found your spot for today, let's stay for a couple of breaths. Imagining the roots holding you down while you're lifting the crown of the head towards the sky. Darkness beneath, lightness above. And after the next exhale, lowering that foot, shaking out that side, the arms. All right, we're gonna come down to our seated, some more seated stretches. We're doing a lot of lower body stretching today, and then we'll lay down for a final relaxation. So finding your sit bones, legs extended. We're grounding again here, really finding both sides, feeling balanced. Toes toward the sky, staff pose. And on your exhale, we can lean forward over those thighs, still grounding those sit bones and those hips. Inhale to lengthen out the crown. Exhale to lean forward. Find where you are today here. When I release, I make space for peace. So release the exhales, sinking lower. A few breaths here. Breathing into any tight spots in the back of the legs, the upper back maybe, the neck sometimes. With each exhale, release just a little bit more. Arms down by the side of your legs. Bending the knees if you need to. Rounding the back to release even more. After your next exhale, imagine those roots as you roll back up through the spine, the lower back, and the shoulders and the neck. Feeling that pull between the sit bones and the crown of the head back into staff pose here. Rooting down and lifting up at the same time. And one more time, we'll exhale forward, rounding over, releasing. Breathing into the tight spots, exhaling to release. And on your next exhale, rounding through the spine, coming back up to staff pose, feeling the sit bones, grounding down, the crown of the head, lifting up. And let's shake out our legs here. Maybe a couple of windshield wipers so we can bend the knees, lean into our hands a bit, and just windshield wiper those knees side to side. Release any tension in those sit bones, the hips, the buttocks, massaging it all, making it really, really juicy in there, exaggerating as much as you want to massage. Okay, coming to center, I would like to do double pigeon seated. So taking the right foot underneath first and think some people call it fire log. So we're gonna put one foot on top of the other. My shin is parallel with the front of my mat. Then I'm gonna take the right ankle, no, the left ankle on the right knee. Lining up my left knee with the right ankle. They're right stacked on top of each other. Flexing the feet to protect the knees here. Finding that rooted energy first, lifting up through the crown of the head. If this is as far as you can go, just stay here. And if you'd like to do the lean forward on the exhale, leaning forward, finding your stretch for today. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to lean. Inhale to lengthen, exhale leaning. And if you'd like to just round over wherever you are, remembering this affirmation, when I release, I make space for peace. I am grateful wherever we are today in our body. I am grateful for it. Exhaling, releasing a bit more. And then on your next exhale, let's round the spine back up. Finding that length in the spine, and we'll just release the legs. Switching the legs. The left shin on the ground, parallel to the front of the mat. Right leg on top, lining up our knees and our ankles, flexing the feet so that we can protect the knees here. Finding pause and stillness right in this moment. So we find the sit bones, we root them down, we lengthen the spine, the crown of the head. And if this is where you're staying, this is perfectly fine for today. If you'd like to lean forward on the exhale, leaning forward, still grounding those sit bones. Exhale to lean, inhale to lengthen, and rounding over when you're ready. Breathing in to the tightness, melting it away with the exhales. On your next exhale, rounding up the lower back first, the upper back, and the head last. Coming back into those two sit bones, feeling the balance, and releasing the legs. Let's windshield wiper one more time. Feels so good. Planting the feet, leaning back into the hands. Knees drop to one side and then the other. Releasing any tension in the hips. Massaging any spots, lingering for a moment if it feels good. Letting gravity bring the weight into those spots. And finding your way into center. We're going to come back onto our bridge on our back for bridge. So just bending the knees, laying back. Bringing our heels towards our buttocks. Arms by the side, brushing the heels with our fingertips if we can reach. Let's ground our energy now. So can we feel the places on the ground here? Hips, feet, back of the arms, back of the head. Can we feel rooted right here, all of these spots? And on our exhale, we're gonna flatten the lower back and raise the hips off the ground. Feet are rooted, parallel, knees are parallel. Weight comes into the shoulders. And exhale, or inhale up the top. Exhale to round the spine down. Inhale, flatten the back, rounding up. Feeling each vertebrae, exhaling all the way through to the lower back and tailbone. On your own breath, we'll do this a couple times. Really feeling each vertebrae, inhaling equally, exhaling equally. Next time you find yourself back on the ground, bringing knees to chest, giving them a little hug here. Keeping the right knee to the chest, lengthen the left leg all the way down to the mat. Feeling that push and pull. Opposite. Reaching the feet towards the opposite wall here, or the left foot. And let's switch, hugging the left knee, reaching the right foot towards the opposite wall from you. And both knees back into the chest, giving them a nice hug. Rounding the forehead up if that feels good for you into a tight ball. Exhaling all the air out. And rolling the upper back down. We're going to end with a twist before Savasana. So feet back to the mat, knees bent, arms in a T. Keeping the shoulders both planted on the ground. We're just going to drop the knees toward the left. Looking over to the right. If you need a bit more of a stretch, you can bring those knees towards the chest a bit more. Left hand resting on the knees. Looking past the right fingertips. And then sinking into the ground. Let all the muscles release here. Finding the slow down and the stillness in this moment. Bringing awareness to any muscles that you might be holding, let those ones go. Let all of the muscles go, fingertips, facial muscles, toes. Sinking deeper and deeper. After your next exhale, bringing the feet back to center, knees to center, arms back in a T. Dropping the knees to the right, looking over to the left. Both shoulder blades on the ground, knees toward the chest a little bit more if you want more of a twist. Right hand helping on top of the knee. And on the exhale, releasing all the muscles, the whole body, sinking deeper and deeper. And after your next exhale, bringing the feet back up, coming into a savasana that's comfortable for you. Spreading the feet out, long toes turn out, arms spaciously by the side, palms up. Releasing even further into the ground. Gently closing the eyes, gazing at the back of the eyelids. Bringing awareness to the breath coming in of the nose, out of the nose. Equal inhale, equal exhales. Slowing the breath down more and more with each breath. Honoring this time for slowing down, embracing the stillness that will come as the winter months approach. Recognizing the cycle of growth and decay within all beings, including ourselves. Taking this rooted energy, that darkness, that underground, taking that grounded, rooted energy with us through the rest of our day. And remembering the equal part of lightness that reaches for the sky, for the sunlight. Staying as long as you like. But if you're ready to start wiggling fingertips and toes, making small movements with the body, I'm going to start to move my knees up to my chest and roll to one side, making a pillow with my arm. Really taking this slowness with me as I sit up. Back to that seated position that we started with. Checking in with that energy and intention. So finding that sit bone, both sit bones rooted. Finding that lightness from the crown of our head. Hands to heart. Just noticing the difference between before and after. Thanking yourself for showing up. I thank you for practicing with me. Inhale, arms out. Exhale to give ourselves a hug. May you be well. Inhale out. Exhale, other arm on top. May you be peaceful. And may you be safe. Hands to heart. Namaste. I honor the light and the dark in all of you. Thank you so much.